Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Geardown Invitational 2021, hosted by ESAC.gg. We are back with the winner bracket final, where we have 4 players who will fight it out now for 2 spots in the grand final already. We have Razer, of course, here, as you can see, with a beautiful M&M car skin, and then also Zycos, who is representing Team Numalops. Then Magorian, the Polish powerhouse, playing for Team Trackmania Heroes Europe, and then of course the German player Barbos playing for Team Shift, and of course also have participated in the Full Speed League and the Full Speed Major Series. And yeah, that will be as I would say, a bang of a match, Flink.
Yeah, seeing them fight the 2 last matches, I think we have 4 of the best players right now, and hopefully it's going to be very exciting this round. I have no idea. I think Razer has a good chance because he was so consistent. He did very little mistakes, and we've seen that mistakes are easy to make on this map. So he has a very good chance. But on the 3 other players, Zycos, who said he didn't train a lot, but actually delivered well over those expectations. And yeah, the other 2 players, great as well. I don't know what to say.
I think that we also gonna see faster times here on those particular rounds, because now pressure of course comes in. But I mean, there is the thing with people or with pro players who can perform even better under pressure. And I mean, just you named it. You don't know what to think about that, and I will actually accompany you with that. But I want to stress out Razer here, who really played a very good match. It was of course Zycos and Magorian also playing super well, but also Barbos. So I cannot really see who's gonna win this one in particular. I think it will be a very close match. Every player has just shown what they are capable of doing. So I think that we're gonna see, similar to the prior match, we're gonna see a triple final situation. And well, I just have to go for 2 players, right? And I think that Barbos and Razer, so the players from the first semifinal, will make it.
I would agree, but to make this more interesting, let's say I will be for Razer and Magorian.
Okay, so both going for Razer here for my boy M&M, for my teammate, let's say like that, and keen to see how he will perform. Hopefully we didn't pressure him too much, as we currently see Magorian, of course, is also a very good player, is currently warming up, as well as Barbos here going over that freewheel section. So the Team Shift player can also, yeah, everyone here is able to do very well, and we will see times now that come close by the WR, which is of course by a player who didn't participate in this tournament. It's by Gussie. It's a 113.14, so a very hard map, and you can also see the times that are very close together. All of those players have a PB of a 113.1 or 113.2. So cool to see that. But we're gonna start in 1 minute. Anything you want to add? Any final thoughts to this match before we gonna go into that?
Yeah, as you said, the pressure is now higher to do well, and it doesn't feel natural to me that the pro players are doing better the higher the pressure is, but we've seen that happen. So I would also expect better times now. So hopefully we'll see some banger times in the coming rounds.
Yeah, we'll certainly see those times, as we still play in cup mode, of course. But because we're in the winner bracket and we're playing a double elimination bracket, we have the bottom 2 players who didn't make it play against the players who have made it in the prior round. In the loser bracket semifinal, we had Otaaaq and Nivo, who knocked out Ener, and Damage, who couldn't participate in. So the losers will play against the winners from the prior match. So Otaaaq and Nivo awaiting their down in the bracket, and then the top 2 will qualify to the grand final here of the Geardown Invitation. As we go into the first round here, let's take a look here into the first round, as we see Barbos a little bit further behind, but nothing really has happened. Of course, it's only 0.1 of a second, but Zycos gets it very well. Also a good apex over this section. So he's currently betting it out, but makes that first mistake there. So Zycos is dead here. So Magorian leading with that, Razer in P2 and Barbos on 3rd.
But to stress that again, I wouldn't dismiss any of the players right now. They are all able to win this. Right now, only 3 players, but they are all on the same pace. So let's see who gets the first round, which might be a good of a psychological boost to get the first round of a match. And it's still completely unclear. Magorian, Razer, Barbos, all inside of each other, driving almost the same lines also. And we're coming up to my favorite turn. So let's see if we see another mistake. Especially by Razer would be interesting. We haven't seen any mistakes by Razer, and all 3 players making it through and getting it into the finish. Magorian with the best pace of a 1:13.6, so already a little bit better than the last match.
Yeah, and also a great round here. Imagine getting third with a 1:13.72. That was the case for the German player, for Barbos playing for Team Shift. So definitely a close match here, as I was predicting. And Magorian's taking that first P1 to his name. Point limit, of course, is 50. Cup mode means that you have to reach that point limit, and then you have to win one more round in order to advance into the grand final, which you can qualify into here. And yeah, let's go ahead here and see what happens in this round. You see Barbos a little bit further behind already, and then Magorian, Zycos, and Razer are currently in the top 3, approaching that freebuild section. But just when I was trash talking, quote unquote, Barbos here, he comes there, and we could have seen him still 0.15 behind. Zycos not with the best line there, goes so wide, and yeah, it's still very close here, Flink.
He almost touched there on the outside again, but he's still in the race. First match he touched and made a mistake, but he can still contest with the best players here. But we see ahead Razer and Magorian with made a mistake, and Zycos catches up to the 2 top players. So again, we have a top 3 here. Razer and Magorian a little bit ahead of Zycos, but there's the all important turn. Both make it. I think Zycos made it as well, and he catches up a little bit, but it's not enough. Magorian made it.
Lost it. Razer lost it there in the ending. He was actually in the lead, and Razer with the mistake. So Magorian takes that first position ahead of Zycos. So Razer from first to actually 3rd position here. And also Magorian with a great ending there. So very, very close fight, and also good times. Actually, very good times there. But yeah, that was certainly a very close round here, Flink, as we are already in round 2, but things are about to spice up. Magorian with 2 victories already.
Whew. I need to breathe. That was so close. Next round already. Zycos now in the lead. His points are, he has 9. He has 9 points. 1 mistake by Razer actually. So now we have Zycos, Barbos, and Magorian. Almost touching there the sign which happened before, but all 3 on good pace. But it seems to me that the lines are a little bit wonky. I don't know if you noticed that, but still all good. Getting into the last third of the map. And let's see what the pace tells us. Nothing is changing right now. Looking good for Barbos here. I just have to say that. Looking very good for him, but maybe Magorian can snipe it again in the ending, but makes that mistake. The Caster's Curse is kicking in, so Barbos will take his first W here in this one with a 1:30.41. That is a certainly very fast time. Zycos in that 2nd position. Then Magorian after that mistake, 1:15 on P3, and also Razer. But yeah, that was a very good time actually from both of those players here of getting those times here. And Magorian is still in the lead. Then Barbos on up to P2, and then also Zycos with some sort of amount of points here. So let's go into that 4th round. And yeah, I mean, you can see if there's no mistake really on this one, times can get really fast here, and the 0.4 is certainly very, very fast. 0.41 would be 7th world record, so that's the pace we are working with here. That is insane, and all players are doing it. So imagine losing with 10th world record. That's amazing. And we see Magorian in the lead right now. Zycos fell behind. I think he made a mistake of about 2 seconds, so he's dead for this round. And Magorian and Razer are fighting it out right now.
Yeah, looking very good here for both of them, as Magorian, of course, has already accumulated a comfortable lead here with his 24 points, and Razer currently at 13 points, so he's really starving for those 10 pointers here. Magorian goes so inside there. That was the wonky line you wanted to talk about, but I think those lines look wonky because they just risk it so much. Razer with more speed in the ending. Can he snipe it? Yes, he will actually do so. Similar flips. both with the same clip. You got to be joking me. Both with the same clip there in the ending, but Razer takes it. It was, of course, after the finish. Razer with a very great ending there, gets himself a lot of speed, and now with that from 4th to 2nd position, Magorian still in 1st, but he gets attacked by the other players, and they really show that what they're capable of doing.
We're still only at 30 points for 1st place, so a lot of room to work with here, also for the players behind, like Barbos with 20 points and Zycos with 19. So not impossible at all. All players in this round still doing great. Magorian in the lead by 2 car lengths. All the players still in it. Now we have the jump that has costed some runs before, and I think Razer made a little bit of a mistake and corrected there. But in this stacked field, that might be enough to get him into last place.
Yeah, and this is definitely the case. Razer jumped too far to the left there, had to release, and with that, he's out of that one. Magorian, again, in the lead. He could go up to 40 points with that. So this is definitely a good performance here from the Polish powerhouse here. Very good thus far in this round, and we could actually see a very good time here. Also, Barbos on P2 gets attacked by Zycos there on the inside. Barbos, however, with more speed. Oh, Zycos with attack, but with a mistake there. And it's Magorian taking it here with a very good time here, a 1:30.49. Then we have Barbos with a 0.59 in 2nd. Zycos on P3. And then there's Razer also finishes up here in that last position, but 5.5 seconds behind. And yeah, let's actually talk about a little bit of about the scoreboard here, Flink. As we can see, Magorian already leading with 14 points. But behind that, it is getting very cozy between those remaining 3 players.
That is true. So Magorian in the lead now. So good chances for him to advance, but there will be a 2nd player, and the other 3 players are very close together. So a lot can still happen there. So if this would go, oh, okay.
Magorian with a mistake there, so that was unfortunate for him. But also Zycos here with a very good start, and yeah, Barbos and Razer definitely have to push it a little bit more to come close towards Zycos. Not the best landing for Zycos here. You have to want to land flat there somehow. And also a little bit more to the right that Zycos had there, so he lost a little bit of speed. So Barbos currently in 2nd position, was so close to accumulates a lot of speed here, and it's going to the last part of the track here, Flink. What do you think? Is Barbos able to make it happen here or not?
I think he just did. Zycos had to slow down just barely, I think, and now Barbos in the lead. So if both players drive this cleanly, I think it's gonna be Barbos, but Zycos gets close, and it's gonna be so close. No, Zycos overtakes, and if he doesn't make a mistake, it's gonna be Zycos barely with a 13.44 insane time, and 30.48 for Barbos, so 0.08 of a second.
So you can really see you can either go for the inside line there, as Barbos did, or the outside approach that Zycos did. And with that, he had just had way more speed there coming into that long stretch of the ending. So great ending there, not gonna lie, from both players. I think both lines are valid, but you just have to pick it what is better for you. As we go into the next round here, we see Barbos falling a little bit behind. Also not the best amount of speed here for him. So the team shift player is a little bit further behind. Then we have Zycos and Magorian. Magorian not having the best speed there, so Razer and Zycos come closer, but what a fight here, Flink. Look at that top 3, and it's only 0.03 of a second between all those 3 players.
Man, this match is way more heated. You can really feel that the players are pushing it to the limit, always going so close to the walls, and they have to. All of them are doing it, so if you want to have a chance for the win, you have to push it. Interestingly enough, the mistakes haven't gotten more frequent, so I think you're right. They are performing under pressure. And we see Magorian in first, so with that he would be finalist. Can Zycos do anything about this? He gets very close.
Wow, and a point
He
39
overtakes.
from both, a point 39 from both, and again, the speed there from Zycos, denying Magorian the finalist mode. The face slap, the 49 points for Magorian means no finals for him, and he needs one more finish in order to make it. And of course, with that, the other players come a considerable amount closer here. It is Zycos up to 43 points, then Barbos 36 and Razer 33 points. So Barbos and Razer a little bit behind. But let's take a look here onto Razer on this particular round, as he's currently contesting Zycos here. But yeah, wow, what a great round was that, Flink, beforehand. A 0.3x pace is not going down, it's going up. It's even faster now.
Imagine leading with 49 points. That is very annoying. And it was down to 100th. So Magorian just needs a finish here. It doesn't have to be good, but it still would be great if he gets first to deny a few points from the other players. So as you can see, Zycos with 43 can get into finalist this round as well, as he's leading. So good chances for that. What do you think?
I think that Zycos is gonna take that and deny some points towards the player, but also Magorian with an interesting line there. I thought this was working out, but that was an error for him. But also Barbos and Razer are there to say something. So Zycos with that will activate the finalist mode to himself, as well as Magorian though. But Razer actually with there, that respawn is allowed. Zycos would have gotten himself 49 points with a second position, so he was in need of that. And look at the time, a 0.36 by Zycos. So now double final situation versus the Dutch and the Polish guy.
Yeah, I think that's the best time we've seen today, if I'm not mistaken. I think so, yeah. So
Yeah.
two finalists right now. Barbos only 8 points away, and Razer, to my surprise, a bit behind. And let's see how this round plays out. Two players can make it to the grand final right now. And Zycos in the lead.
Yeah, Zycos is definitely leading here. 0.13 of a second. Magorian has made that mistake. And we can see also Razer and Barbos, who cannot really stay up with the pace. But just when I say that, it's the caster's curse. Of course, Barbos and Razer, and both players who are in dire need of those points. Bear in mind, they are not in finals mode just yet. So they would just take those freebies home, and the field will get closer and closer. Barbos also on a very good time, goes so wide there to accumulate that extra kilometer per hour there. With that even extending the CT to 0.29 of a second.
Oh.
Razer bonk into the wall, and Barbos can just chill. He can cruise into the finish, even though he's on a very, very good time here by the looks of it. So let's take a look here onto Barbos onto the last couple of turns.
I make you responsible, Turbo. How could you interfere with this match like that?
Yeah, it is always like that, isn't it? And yeah, a 0.51 by Barbos seals the deal here. A good amount of points for him. Definitely he was in need of that. And look at that. As forecasted, triple final situation.
Whew. So, can Razer make it a quadruple?
Yeah,
He
a
needs
victory.
2 wins though. So that is... No, 1 win now.
Yeah, he needs one win.
1 win. So, still manageable. 2 wins to advance. So, let's have a closer look at Razer, as Zycos makes a big mistake, and it's not gonna be him this round. So, better chances for Razer. He only has to compete with 2 of the top players right now. Weird line there, I don't know. Looked a bit weird to me, but still all together at the same pace, and it seems it's not decided yet at all. Barbos now in the lead. Magorian with a better curve here. Wow, the lines are very different this round. I'm noticing.
Yeah. They are indeed, and currently it's Razer versus Barbos here, but just when I say that, it's actually Barbos with the mistake, so every time when I talk, it happens, and we could actually see a quadruple final situation, since it is Razer currently leading 0.1 of a second. Let's take a close look onto Magorian here for that ending section, looking very nice here for Razer. Magorian with the inside approach. Razer has more speed, he just has to survive the ending, just ever so slightly, but Magorian will stay behind, and the 113.51 will put Razer actually into the quadruple finalist situation. What a sick match do we have. So guys, I don't know why there are no more tag tournaments, because this is a great display why tag is arguably one of the most interesting and intense styles to watch.
Man, are you sure you didn't script this? It's a quadruple finalist situation right now. Anyone can get this in this round. So we will, in all cases, only have 2 rounds left. And let's see. I'm so excited. I'm exhausted. Zycos makes a mistake. Oh, terrible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, so Zycos has made that mistake, and now it's Razer, the underdog, actually betting it out here with Barbos. So underdog in terms of because he was behind all match long, and then he won that very important round, but now he falls a bit behind, not the best amount of speed. Barbos TM, the German player, versus Magorian here. So Magorian has nothing to lose here. It's of course 2 more rounds here. The winner will make it into the grand final of the Geardown Invitational 2021. But it is Barbos still staying ahead here of Magorian. Magorian goes for the attack here on this inside approach, has a little bit more speed, but he had to readjust his line there. But the ending will of course decide it. Who has the most amount of speed? Magorian is dead, and it will be Razer versus Barbos. And Barbos is the first player who is through here with a 113.55. But what a great match thus far. But we have 1 more spot and 2 players who will go down. Will it be Razer, Magorian, or maybe even Zycos?
Yeah, Magorian risking it a little bit too much there in the last turn, but he has another chance. But the other 2 players still have a word in this, and they want the spot as well. So everyone now under the most pressure you can imagine. So let's see, Zycos getting a small lead in the beginning, and as you in the new game can see your position on the car, maybe that boosts him a little bit to the front as Magorian now overtakes, but Zycos with a better freewheel part. Now I see what you mean, he gets a lot of speed all the way up to here. Now he can equalize, the other players can equalize again with drift, but Zycos already made it into first place for now. And oh, that was so close. Did Magorian make a mistake there?
Yeah, that was very close indeed. Magorian with that is 0.3 away. But it is of course Razer versus Zycos here for that position. Only 1 person can make it, and it is actually Zycos with way more speed than Razer. I was thinking the opposite there, but of course the ending is deciding it here. Razer going so far inside actually makes that mistake there, so he is dead on this one, and Zycos can cruise it here in the ending, and Zycos will actually make it. So Razer and Magorian down into the actual loser bracket final, but also a great time here, 113.42 by Zycos. So Zycos and none other than Barbos are through. Great performance. Magorian and Razer, commiserations towards them, but they still have a second chance, and they can certainly, with this performance, definitely make it to the final.
One thing is clear, I will need a nap after this event. This is so stressful.
Well, I mean, I have 2 other casts coming up with that today, so the hustle is not stopping. But yeah, definitely a very, very good and close match. You can see the level of the players, which is insanely good. And of course, what I said beforehand, coping the pressure. It seems that they don't have to cope it, they're just doing very well, Flink.
They need the pressure, it seems like, yeah. So the more pressure, the better they are driving. So let's increase the pressure even more.
Yeah, maybe that's what they need. Of course, if you drop down into the loser bracket now, the players have seen what they have to face. It will be Otaaaq, of course, and also Nivo, who will play against the losers of this one. But before that, let's take a look, or let's hear what Eric and Paul have to say about this match.
Hello everyone, we are back once again, and exactly as been said there, we now have two of our lower bracket finalists to join those who came through the semi-final. We now have, of course, Otaaaq and Nivo, who will now be going against who I'm guessing maybe they didn't expect, especially with Magorian, but also, I mean, it's going to be very difficult going against a player like Razer as well, who, I mean, they've shown consistency and they've shown pace, I reckon. I'd imagine, there's going to be a hot lower bracket final as well.
Yeah, that's for sure. Somewhat sad for Magorian that he drops down. He was the best player in that match. He deserves to go into the grand final of the day, but I mean, maybe beneficial to just get one extra match in before the eventual grand final. And Razer surprised me to the extent that his semi-final was really solid. Didn't do any mistakes, but this winner bracket final he did a lot of mistakes, and it seems to be that he was essentially the worst player in this field. But it's 50 points, so even though in the end there was a quadruple finalist, so if you start off the match bad, you still have a chance of actually coming back. So, but I would put these two players as the biggest favorites in the upcoming consolidation final.
For sure. What did you think of the match in general? I mean, it was so back and forth. I mean, you saw the likes of Zycos, who, I mean, it seemed if he finished in an amazing time. But other than that, it was like all or nothing, basically, for Zycos. Whereas you had the likes of Barbos, who was getting seconds and thirds with ridiculous times. It was a lot of a quickening of the pace in the winner bracket final there.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, Turbo mentioned it. Why shouldn't we have more tech events? So I guess people should just slide into SoftyB's DMs and tell them, hey, we want more tech events. This is actually stacked. This is actually hype to watch, because this was so back and forth. I did some sort of stats, and I was surprised that Zycos didn't win in the start of it. I was like, okay, Zycos is new, supposed to be fast. And then at the end of the match, he was the guy with the most first places. So Zycos was also a bit of a slow starter, but in the end, he shows that he is really a winner candidate, because once he put it together, he seems to be the fastest player, and I think that it's what this all comes down to, who is able to put the fastest times, because it's a stacked field that we are going up against now.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, coming in with all of these players who, realistically, as we said, are very evenly matched, it's coming into these sort of rounds. And I mean, I remember back in the day during like TMPL and such, Spam would often almost complain that, well, he was a very strong player, he wasn't getting the best time, so he wasn't getting 10 points. He was often settling with 6 or 4. So it's just going to show that when the players manage to pull out that extra 10%, they are getting the 10 pointers, which is proving to be very important. But what do you think now going into the loser bracket final? Do you think we're just going to see Magorian and Razer bouncing straight back into the grand final, or do you think we might actually see Otaaaq and Nivo being able to put up a fight?
To the extent that they can just bounce back, I think they will, but this is Trackmania, this is a high-level tournament, so it's not just going to be like you can already place them there, because Otaaaq seems to be getting warmer and warmer, and I guess he really wants to get into that grand final, show that he can actually improve more than in just open Grand League, and that there is more than just one good 16-year-old from France playing Trackmania. So I have higher expectation for Otaaaq than Nivo, but Nivo again is just a underdog. But I would put Magorian as the clear favorite, and then Razer as the runner-up in that match.
Yeah, definitely. As you said there, I mean, it seems the two of the players who are in the lower bracket were definitely slow starters. You had the likes of Otaaaq, who was very consistent but wasn't hitting the great times, and Nivo really didn't start great in his semi-final, but in the lower bracket semi-final you could see it coming back, getting the pace, starting to finish a good few rounds in a row. But I mean, from the times they were managing in the lower bracket semi-final, we're talking, points. We're talking 0.8s, 0.7s. We know Magorian and Razer are capable of more than that, so we're definitely going to need to see, the next level come out of Otaaaq and Nivo, I reckon.
Yeah, but just remember, who is my bet in this? Oh yeah, it's the guy who won the winner bracket final. It's Barbos. And where's your pick? Yeah, he's still in the consolidation final. So your soft bet has to perform here, else it's just gonna be a walkover for the betting champion, Erik Uldan.
Yeah, well, let's be honest. For us two in our bettings, it's either one gets everything and the other gets nothing. That just seems to be how it goes, and I'm on the bad end of the stick, shall we say, this time around. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking
this time around. You're acting like it's not happening every time. I'm winning every time.
Hey, this guy's forgotten Trackmania Grand League. Let's just say that.
What?
He's not always been the betting champion, ladies and gentlemen.
Fake news, fake news.
Hey, you're the only journalist, you should know. But yeah, I mean, we will actually have the lower bracket final coming up on your screens in just about 5 minutes' time. We will have a short break, and then it will be coming up. Another 5-minute break, and then we'll have 2 matches waiting for us. Of course, the lower bracket final with, as we've been saying there, Magorian, Razer, Otaaaq, and Nivo, and awaiting them in the grand final, Barbos and Zycos. So they will be coming up on your screens with our lovely Flink and Turbo in just about 5 minutes' time. But we will go to our short break, and we will see you all later on.